Christmas, and is it just me, or is our obsession with fighting intolerance forcing us into a bit of a corner? Seems like we put so much emphasis on being welcoming and accepting that our tolerance has gone a little bit too far, and perhaps we've kind of forgotten that some things shouldn't be tolerated. Perhaps those things were even damaging to our society. But if indeed that is the case, then how exactly has it happened? And more importantly, why? And what can we do to stop it? Well, isn't it lucky I'm here? Because I'm probably gonna fucking tell you over the next, I don't know, 8 to 10, maybe 12 minutes. First off, what do I mean by tolerance? Well, the official definition says that it is the ability or willingness to tolerate behaviors or opinions that one dislikes or disagrees with. That sounds like something pretty well balanced and even, you know, correct and right, doesn't it? I mean, that sounds like something that we can all get on board with, something that would only ever benefit the fandom, something we should stick to our guns with always, right? Right? I mean, obviously I'm going to make a case that that isn't right, but just leading up to that. Intolerance, on the other hand, is defined as the unwillingness to accept views, behavior, opinions that differ from one's own. It already sounds a bit more pointed and targeted. In fact, it sounds a little bit, you know, negative in my opinion. And quite frankly, I don't think that needs to be the case. This lovely, wonderful, amazing fandom of ours has always been billed as welcoming and accepting, and though it's been widely disputed, you know, by me, one big happy family. Obviously, we rarely display those characteristics towards each other, but it is the perception that we are determined to ram down everyone's throats. Among other things. And then we pride ourselves on our, well, pride in that furriness, in LGBTQAWXYZ, whatever the fuck it is these days. We pride ourselves on just accepting everybody from all walks of life. Openly accepting any gender, identity, orientation, sexuality, because, hey, if we can accept someone wanting to be a canine, wolf, six-legged hybrid centaur that wants to stomp a city to death and also gets swallowed, then why the fuck can we not accept anything else? We're all here to get along, we're all here to fit in, to be part of something, because that's ultimately what we were lacking in our lives. So we're going to do everything we can to, you know, get along and fit in and accept everybody. We will do anything that forwards that perception and lets us continue in that, delusion. And on the flip side of that, we have the giant shield of intolerance, where we will not tolerate homophobia, transphobia, any phobias really, like, you know, apart from like spiders and shit, that's fine. We won't tolerate racism, sexism, neo-Nazism, extreme political views. We won't stand for any of that shit. We will stand our ground and we will fight these symbols of oppression, and justly so. I mean, these things are actually detrimental to society, so yeah, it's probably about right that we wouldn't let these things exist. We promote tolerance, and we will not tolerate anyone else who doesn't do that.
But wait, Artie. I thought that tolerance meant that you had the ability or willingness to tolerate the existence of opinions or behaviours that one dislikes or even disagrees with.
Huh. I guess you're right. I suppose that makes anybody who preaches tolerance but then has intolerance a massive fucking hypocrite. Huh. Maybe that's the kind of point I was trying to make with this segment. You see, it's a double standard. We are tolerant of everything that we like, that it supports our worldview and our opinions, backs up what we believe in, but we don't like the things that challenge that. That doesn't work. Tolerance, by its very definition, is tolerating things that you don't actually like or agree with. We don't do that. We pretend that saying that, oh, this is what we like and everybody should like this, and if you don't like it, then fuck you. We pretend that that is actually tolerance. It fucking isn't. That's not accepting. That is saying this is what's good and this is what's bad. More importantly, there is nothing wrong with doing that. See, that's just the way that people operate. That's just the way that things are. But we seem to preach that we're on some moral high ground of being better than most other people because we are so tolerant of everybody, when we really fucking ain't. And that's also a good thing. See, we treat intolerance as something that needs to be feared, but ultimately it's the kind of thing that's going to save us. We need to treat it as something that we need to welcome. But, you know, restrain a little bit. We can't be intolerant of a lot of things, but there's a lot of things we shouldn't say. Oh, right, that sounds okay, that's fine. It's kind of key to our development of, say, community. I mean, we can't just sit there and let toxic behaviors and horrible people come into the fandom and just say, oh, that's okay, that's just how they are, we're going to accept that. I'm not saying that we should shun them either. They should be allowed to develop. We shouldn't be backing them up into their flawed ways. We should be saying, okay, you can't really do that. You need to be a bit better. Here's how you can be. The issue here is that we can't see past our rose-tinted glasses and everything swings back to positivity and over-acceptance and everything's okay because we love each other and it's wonderful and please don't fight, we don't need drama. And then suddenly we wonder why we have such a problem with fucking pedophiles and Nazi furs in the entire world. The real damage is done when harmful behaviours and toxic personality traits are not only accepted, but almost welcomed in this fandom under the umbrella of being accepting and tolerant. Suddenly people can act in whatever way they want because they're always going to have some sycophantic yes men backing them up on everything they say and do. I mean, why develop? Why evolve? Why be anything different and actually a better person when you can just find someone who goes, no, actually, you're in the right there, let's turn this into a fight and you will be correct because we have your back. Still believe that homosexuality is a sin? Well, that's fine. There's those people that can back you up on that one. That's your religious opinion after all. I mean, it might be. So you can easily get backed up for that one. I'm sure that's not damaging to society, is it? I'm sure that's not giving loads of homosexuals a lot of issues in their life because that's persisting. No, it's fine. That's your opinion. You have a right to it, even if it does affect and hurt other people. See, when you're a community that openly accepts and welcomes everything, but also wants to appease everybody and doesn't ever want to really start a massive fight by actually standing up for something, you kind of have a lack of people who will stand up and go, no, this is fucking wrong. And you end up with loads of overly passive dickheads who are just like, oh, don't fight. Oh, no, it's okay. Everybody can get along. Well, guess what? Not everyone's going to fucking get along on everything. And sometimes, some people are just fucking wrong and need to be corrected. And when you don't have that force, when you don't have those people saying this is fucking wrong, it gets worse. We just see more and more of that behavior. In fact, the very people that are trying to preach tolerance and acceptingness and welcomingness, they're becoming the enablers of our fucking fandom, of society as a whole, by allowing these people to be backed up and to feel safe with their jaded, shitty, dated opinions and their horrible, stupid ways of operating as a person. You are letting them continue down that path, when really, you should be the force that says, no, that is wrong, you need to be better. It could be said that social change can come from intolerance, or to put it in a more media-friendly way, if you want things to be better, you have to make it pretty damn clear what you define as better and what you define as needing to improve. There's a lot of negative things in this fandom. There's a lot of very harmful things. The kind of things that could even destroy it if it got out of control. With, I'm just going to say it again because I'm not beating this drum to death, over-tolerance. While we do a good job of regulating it within ourselves, there's always a handful of people that will stand up at every fight and go, oh, but that's like their opinion, man. Like they're the fucking dude or some shit. Okay, yeah, I get it, that is their opinion, but hey, don't go defending some of this bullshit, okay? Because quite frankly, some things are outdated and socially harmful. Ultimately, we need to grow a thicker skin and stop being so nice about literally everything. I'm not saying we need to be more horrible, but I'm saying that fucking hell, furries. I know you all want to be positive and whatnot, but some things you cannot react positively to. It just enables them. It just means that shit gets out of hand, for fuck's sake. We need to realize that some people are toxic to this fucking fandom and they need to change. We need to realize that some behaviors should not be tolerated, that some views should not be tolerated and need to be stamped out before it threatens to destroy us. I mean, Christ, why are we still having arguments about Nazi furs, for fuck's sake? Why is that still a thing that exists? Why are we still having arguments about pedophiles in the fandom and how, oh well, as long as they're not hurting anybody, they're pedophiles. They are hurting people just by looking at what they look at, okay? Get them some fucking help, because at the end of the day, that's what these people need. They need help. We can't just turn our back on them. We can't just accept them or go to the other end of the spectrum and say, now, fuck off. They need fucking help. They need the support that this fandom supposedly gives everybody, but not really seeing a lot of it at the end of the day. We need to stop thinking that we are not responsible for the members of our society. And if there are bad sides to it, we need to take ownership of that and go, okay, yeah, that's true. We do have some shits in our community, but hey, we're trying to do something about it and we're trying to help them be something better. It's kind of shit that should be happening all over the world, quite frankly, but people are people and people are assholes. And if we haven't covered that enough, I don't know how I'm going to get the fucking point across. There we go, that all might sound pretty fucking heavy, but it boils down to some simple stuff. Basically, as a community, we need to learn that perhaps being tolerant of literally everything is not actually going to work. We can't be tolerant of certain things like Nazi furs and paedophiles because, quite frankly, that shouldn't exist anymore. That should have been stamped out years ago, decades ago. So what can we do about it? Stop shouting at people who are saying, this shit is fucking wrong, we need to get rid of it. Quite frankly, people are entitled to their opinions, I get that, and there is such a thing of freedom of speech, but freedom of speech does not translate into freedom from consequence. And if someone's saying something which is batshit fucking stupid, or even harmful to society, then we should be allowed to stand up and go, you know what? Fuck off. Go and learn some life lessons, develop yourself a bit better, come back when you've realised that that is bullshit. And I'm sure right now there's probably going to be people in the comments section going like, oh, if it's not hurting anyone, then what does it matter? It is hurting people. It's hurting a lot of people, quite frankly. The more you see this behaviour, the more you think it's acceptable, the more more of that behaviour you see. It's a never-ending fucking cycle. Cut the head off the snake, the body will die, that kind of bullshit. We need to kind of stop this shit. So yes, ultimately, learn to say no a little bit more. Learn to say, that person is toxic and poisonous and should not be allowed in my life. Learn to walk away. Learn to actually have that little bit of comfort in thinking, oh, maybe we don't have to please everybody, because not everybody should be pleased. But yeah, whatever, you do you. I'm sure the furry fandom's just going to continue in the same way it always has. And we're still going to be complaining about all of the same old shit years down the line. At least we're dependable for that kind of bullshit, you know? And at least we're not wondering, oh, what's the fandom going to be like? It's going to be like it always was, kids. The same old little shithole that we all love.